Hello, I'm Tamsin Wheatley. Welcome to this bonus episode of Folklore. I wanted to share with you this email I received from one of my listeners. Hi Tamsin, hope you're well. Really enjoying the show. I saw your call for people to get in touch about their own experiences and stories and thought I'd share mine with you. Hope you like it. When I was a kid, there was a house down the road everyone called the Witch House. It was really shabby, sort of run down, and some of the windows were boarded up. It was also sort of blackened, like there'd been a fire or something, and the garden was all overgrown. No one actually lived there, it was just abandoned. They tore it down and replaced it with flats a few years back, but I always remember it there from when I was growing up. Everyone would always say that it was haunted by the spirit of an old woman who was also a witch. Supposedly, she was the one who lived there. Her name was Old Maggie. As the legend goes, Old Maggie would kidnap children and keep them locked in the cellar, where she would fatten them up and then eat them. Apparently, this was so that she could take their existing years, meaning she would live longer. I don't know when this was supposed to have happened, it was just one of those stories that you hear, and I'm sure every town or village has its own spooky house. Anyway, we'd always dare each other to go and knock on the door or whatever, but none of us ever did. Even though we all acted like we knew the story was totally bogus, there was always a little part of us that wasn't entirely sure. We didn't want to tempt fate. Supposedly, Old Maggie was eventually caught by the townsfolk, and the story goes they all got into a mob and burned the house down with Old Maggie inside. They didn't realise, of course, that a lot of the children were also still alive and trapped in the cellar, so when they burned the house down, they also burned all the children. That was the bit that always freaked me out the most because of the sad irony of it. Parents so vengeful and desperate for justice, they wound up killing their own children in the process. The thought still puts me on edge, even if it is made up. People would often say they could smell burning when they were near the house, and some people would claim that the light of the fire could be seen coming from inside late at night. I never saw anything like that, and to be honest, I never met anyone who had actually seen it either. It's just one of those things. When I got to sort of 18 or 19 years old, I look up Old Maggie, and apparently she had existed, but the story was totally embellished and pretty much entirely false. There was a fire and she had died in it, but no one really knew how it started, and the whole taking children thing was just nonsense. I won't lie, I was sort of disappointed, but I was also pretty relieved. After that, I forgot about it really. I went off to uni, moved away, and it was just one of those stories that I would tell people whenever anyone else would start bringing up ghost stories at parties or whatever. But about 6 years ago, I was talking to my mum, and she told me there'd been a fire in the flats that were built on the ground there, and 4 people had tragically died in the flames. I don't know whether there's a real connection or not. It's not like there's any evidence, and as you yourself said in your show, sometimes we try to explain things away and make them make sense in our own minds, but that really got under my skin. That there would be another tragic fire there, on the same plot of land. I don't know, it just got to me a little. Anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to read my message. I hope you're well, and I look forward to hearing the next episode. Yours faithfully, Katie B. Thank you for joining me for this mini-ep. Remember, main episodes are released every other Saturday. To get in touch and share your thoughts, please search @folklore_pod on Twitter, or find our official Facebook page. If you've enjoyed the show, please like, share and subscribe, and give us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you found us, to help us reach even more listeners. You can also join in the discussion over on our official Folklore Facebook group, or you can support the show and help make magic happen over on Patreon. And in exchange, you'll get access to all kinds of exclusive content, including some behind-the-scenes snippets, bonus stories, and extra interviews.